Okay, back to
My
the
cat's breath
podcast.
smells like cat food. I love Ralph Wiggum.
Ralph Wiggum, you can just pull up every line I think that he said in every episode is almost a classic like quote. Okay, so we got Gopher is about to return the sunglasses here. Nose job girl opens the door, basically hiding her face, and just sticks her hand out.
Hand out.
And he asks if she's hiding out. It was really weird. Like he knows everybody that's on the ship and realizes that this lady's hiding in her room here. He asks if she's an actress or a
I think this is where I
model,
saw the Aloha deck when he
or
walked
she's
down to
being
see her.
incognito or whatever. Yeah.
So if you were a real star of this, you would have signified what room number they were in along with Aloha deck.
If I was the star of this,
You are. I'm saying you're so obsessed with the room.
They didn't show the room.
He definitely walks up onto the Aloha deck. There's a sign that says Aloha deck, and then whatever the room number is.
You also see there's a sign that Mitzi and Don are playing in the promenade or in the Acapulco Lounge. I have that written down, but jeez, this is part of the 12 minutes or not? So this is where they're basically falling for each other.
All Gopher sees is her eyes.
Yeah.
That's it. She has nice eyes, so good for Gopher to notice them. But
she basically covered her nose, even though it had the bandage on it. But it was a really weird goodbye as he waved to her. I don't know. I just thought that was really weird.
Aloha Deck 358. If you want to clip that into the beginning.
Yeah, Aloha Deck 358 is where
nose job
girl and her mom stayed.
When you get a nose job, don't you get black
here's one
eyes
of the scenes
too?
Where I was talking about where
you break your nose,
where Louise walks right into
the room.
Also, that bandage could come off like that. Why is it taking her so long to pull that bandage
it's like
off?
pulling a Band-Aid off. You don't want to either rip it off fast or you...
I know, but there's nothing to that. That's what I'm saying. That shit came right off. And the mom comes in, closes Louise in the bathroom as she walks in. So it's a lot of comedy here. So she has her mom close her eyes before she takes off the bandage. Louise jumps up on the table in front of her mom as her eyes are closed. As her mom removes her hands from her eyes, she faints because she sees Louise. And it ends the scene because it's like, does the girl think that her mom fainted?
I really
from her
thought
nose?
the joke was going to be, Mom, what do you think of my nose? And she's like, ah! And then she passes out. As
Louise was leaving the
I
room.
thought that's what the joke they were going for. And then that didn't happen in any way. So why'd they do that? What was the point?
It was weak. It made no sense, right? Yeah, because
it made no
the joke
sense.
should have been, we saw it coming, and then they were like, yeah, we're not going to give it to you.
We're not going to give you, oh, you wanted a joke? No, you don't get one.
Not today, not now.
You're making fun of this episode.
Boat. This is the love boat. So we get...
But it just speaks to the fact that chimp is roaming the ship free. He only seems, or she, sorry, Louise, only wants to go in that one room because she keeps stealing the
and then like,
glasses and the brooch or whatever.
She ransacks it at one point.
She ransacks it. But why is Gopher's room right next door?
It must be, but like, why would his room should be in like with the
crew quarters
or whatever? Because Captain even said something about there, or was it Isaac was bringing? He's like, oh, you're showing her the
crew quarters,
yes. And
which would probably be like, underneath.
What?
They're going to give the paying customers better rooms than the crew.
I mean, you got to have like a little bit of, I guess, a little more room because they probably have like stuff to keep with them. You know, like they're living there most of the time, right? I mean, it's like. I mean, I don't know. Like these people, they go out on a 5 to 10 day cruise. So let's say they went on a 7-day cruise. We'll say the crew we're talking about here. They come back, then they have a few days off,
they
probably,
must have time off.
Then another cruise on. Like
either the boat goes out without our guys, or it's just in dry dock for a week.
So then, like, I know we see Isaac working like all hours of the day. Like, I would think that they would only get an 8 or 10 hour shift, probably.
We discussed this in the episode with the plumber. They're probably on call all the time.
So that was the plumber. That was like a specialty. Like, so you think like even like Julie,
they're like nurses. They probably they're probably on call for like 72 hours, and then once the cruise is over, they don't have to pick up the phone for 72 hours.
Yeah, like a lot of nurses work like 4 days in a row, 3 days off, 4 days. Yeah,
and those days that they're working, they don't actually have to work. But if something comes up where they're needed, they get called in.
Makes sense, yeah.
I mean, maybe for a plumber, it makes more sense that he's probably not going to be. It's not a 24-hour job. It's just. But he's clogged.
But he's going to be needed possibly at any time of the day.
Right.
He's not going to necessarily be needed 8 hours a day. So that's
you don't need to have a bartender on call because there's always a need for a bartender.
Yeah, and again,
and a yeoman purser, whatever a yeoman purser is. What's a purser and a yeoman purser?
We looked that up. I said in the beginning.
We talked about this already.
In one of the first, I think it was the first episode. I looked up yeoman purser was something along the lines of in charge of the money on the ship.
So why is he supposed to greet the passengers?
That I don't know. I mean, but also it seems like he also seems like the concierge, like a lot of times too. Like
he does.
Can he get like
whatever you need? I got it for
whatever.
Yeah, I got it for you.
But here we get Mama and Roy are dancing, and Charlene says that Isaac has a super mom. She's just like really cool, and Isaac's kind of upset that his mom is being courted here.
You know, this is such a TV trope with the son disapproving of the mom dating. We've seen it a million times.
Yeah.
I can't point to any specific
it's
time,
definitely a TV
but I'm
trope.
sure it has happened so many times. Brian,
then,
give me a time when it happened. Did Mabel King date one time and Raj didn't like it?
I think Raj had a problem with his dad dating somebody else. Was there because that sounds familiar because I remember him.
It was probably after Dwayne told him to bet all his money on the Buccaneers to beat the Raiders.
You know,
my favorite episode of What's Happening.
I even watched What's Happening. I even watched What's Happening Now.
I did. Speaking of shows they brought back, yeah, I did watch What's Happening Now because that was
rerun left after the first season. He didn't even finish the first season,
and that was over money, right?
I believe so.
Because Fred Berry's getting money thrown at him, and he was just like, "I can do more. I can get more."
He was, but that had he was doing like a lot of commercials.
But that had Raj, that had Dwayne, that had D.
They all came back.
Shirley, right?
And even
Shirley owned
Rob
Rob's, right?
Shirley and Raj actually.
Shirley and Raj owned Rob's.
And then
I guess Mabel King was.
And Raj had a wife, the girl from I'm Gonna Get You Sucker.
Yes,
really skinny.
I know. Yeah,
Nadine, her name was on the show,
and she was in something else besides I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, but I'm not gonna remember now. And it was. At that time, she was in something at that time too.
She was one of those people that was in a lot of things, and you're like,
it's her.
But she wasn't in like.
I don't know her name. Yeah. I don't know her, but
I know her. But she was funny in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. I just remember that.
But I liked What's Happening Now. I thought that was funny.
I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I mean,
man, it's so funny to think about how the early 90s, all they did was just bring old shows back. Because it was all that syndication stuff that had never happened before. It was all, let's bring a show back.
They're making That 90s show. And it's got Kitty and Red are going to be, and I guess they're going to have like Eric's grandkids or Eric's kids, which will be their grandkids.
And speaking of shows they brought back, I believe The Love Boat comes back in the early 90s too, right? Robert Urick's the captain.
Urich, and we don't talk about that.
We're not going to get to that. We're not going to do those episodes.
That would be fun. I would do it. I mean, I don't know where we'd have to find those episodes.
Well, you'll have to find me and Brian also because we'll be at some nursing home in Nevada somewhere at that time. Because we'll be 7,000 episodes into the fucking Love Boat.
If we're doing the podcast in Nevada, I'm coming out.
That's where we're going to retire to.
And I'll be
not together, but together.
Yeah, we're going to be on the same compound, though, right?
We're going to
get like a desert compound.
We're going to build a thing of land and build some houses on the land.
Snakes as babysitters.
You shouldn't need babysitters.
And we're going to cook
by then,
chicken on rocks. We hopefully have grandchildren by then.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't need to be babysitting.
No, but if the grandkids come over.
I mean, obviously they'll come over, visit and everything. Yeah, but
I mean, I think one of my kids might have kids
already.
No, maybe.
The way you said that, right?
And Brian probably also has one kid that'll have kids. So,
you think only one of your kids will have kids out of?
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
I think so.
And you have two. How many kids do you have?
3.
3, right?
So the odds are 2 out of 5 ain't bad, right?
Isn't that a Meatloaf song?
I believe so.
Yeah. Don't be sad because 2 out of 5 ain't. I could say that. Because I changed the lyrics.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. I did it.
And you sang it out of tune, too, so it doesn't matter.
That was in tune. Oh, yeah, that was out of tune on purpose. I tell you, no respect. Now, can we do that? Can we imitate people like that?
Well, imitations are fun.
Jimmy Durante, we should have done earlier.
I don't do a Jimmy Durante. I mean,
it talks like
cha-cha-cha.
That's sort of like what Al did on yeah.
Was Al doing a Jimmy Durante?
I don't know if he was like maybe he got a little bit of it, from it, but yeah.
I like it.
Keep that in. I don't know what sound we have for that one, but
Brian's going to need to come up with a soundboard of just bad celebrity impersonations.
Christina's going to be so pissed this week when I'm editing this.
I'll be in bed in 5 hours. I just have to chop this episode up and make it sound like it's something. And we'll say, Brian, that night we recorded for 3 hours. Why is the podcast only 46 minutes? Well, I had to do some editing.
Well, like
remember we talked about from minute 13 to minute 75?
He's going to have some big chunks to take out, so that's going to make it a little easier. It's not going to be like a few seconds here, a few seconds there. Here to here. Okay,
it's done. It's out.
All right, so where are we at here? We had Isaac.
Hey, we're almost halfway through the episode, the Love Boat episode. So this episode also. So Isaac's eyeballing his mom, dancing with the dentist. He doesn't like it, and he gets up. He's like,
he's ready to go.
I'm going to take her down.
This is where Charlene says it's his break time, and she had something for him, something to do for his break.
Yeah,
which is basically what he had earlier for when he didn't want her to meet her.
And he reacts going like, okay.
Yeah, he's like, it takes his mind completely off of things.
He's like, oh, my mom's on this boat? Okay. But it is funny how the mom has...
like, why wouldn't they... And he said
no point introduced him to the guy yet.
But he did the guy, Roy Harwood, asks him to come back and have dessert with them. And he says, I'm busy.
But and the mom should have made an effort. She goes like this,
I need to talk to you about something. And he walks away.
Yeah.
So it's like they tried. It wasn't a good try.
There should have been a phone call before the episode saying, I'm coming on the cruise and I'm bringing my boyfriend with me.
By the way, that guy that keeps answering the phone when you call my house, yeah, we're dating.
He's wearing a towel when he's doing it.
Okay, so we get Isaac bringing his jacket, and you're like, who's he going to bring it to?
So now we're going to find out.
He knocks on Mom Washington's door, and he brings the jacket in.
You say Mama Washington, and I believe she makes the comment that George, the only person that goes by Mom Washington, is George's mom.
Yeah.
That's a good line.
It's like a throwaway line, but I don't
know if it's here or not. At one point, someone calls her Mama Washington.
But here we get, they're talking after he gives the jacket, and then somebody comes out of the bathroom here.
Oh my God, who?
In a towel, right?
Or a robe, maybe.
Was it a robe? Yeah. She tells him that he needs to get a hobby.
I have a hobby. It's girls.
Out of the bathroom, we get Roy, and Isaac's like, basically, what the hell's he doing? Hey, it's a robe and a towel in his hand. Okay. He says, what's he doing here? And then Mama Washington says it's his cabin, as much as his cabin as it is mine.
He's got a gold chain around his neck too. I know it's 1978, but
she says they're roommates. I thought that was weird. We're roommates.
We split.
Because then I thought it was. Remember how like they set up the rooms where
the singles could have
two
rooms
random
together.
Singles,
but they
wouldn't do male female.
Right, they wouldn't do that.
And then he's like wondering why they came on the cruise together. And Mama says she's been wanting to talk, just never had the chance.
I'd like to point out now.
She made a joke about a Harvey Wallbanger.
Yes.
Do you know what a Harvey Wallbanger is?
I mean, I don't know. I've never had a Harvey Wallbanger.
I'll tell you what the Harvey Wallbanger consists of.
Like Brian knows.
Brian, do you know what it's in a Harvey Wallbanger?
Yeah, someone who worked for Weinstein.
There you go. But
this fucker, he can't do the sounds right. I think we got to fire him. Fire the producer.
We'll never get another episode out of him.
Never. We'll take him in all his terribleness.
A Harvey Wallbanger is vodka.
Okay, I like that.
Galliano, which is a vanilla liqueur.
Yeah, I know the bottle. I don't know if I've ever actually tasted Galliano.
And fresh orange juice. That's your Harvey Wallbanger.
Doesn't sound awful.
Harvey Wallbanger met who? Mrs. Coathanger. Poor Righteous Teachers, I think.
I'd like to point out that Pearl Bailey by trade is a singer.
Earl Bailey is a singer, yes.
They don't have her sing on the show. It's another missed opportunity by the Love Boat.
I thought maybe Pearl was going to get involved with Don and
right? Didn't you? I really thought when she was on this episode with the
or do you think they would have to pay her more to sing?
So you pay her more to sing.
I'm just saying, do you think that was the thing? Maybe that's why they didn't, or did
I don't know. I think
did she say she didn't want to sing? Maybe she just wanted to act.
This is the third time that they've had a musical act. They had Charo, obviously, and they cut her off, and they had.
But we got to see her guitar.
Who was the girl that dated Isaac?
Diane Carroll.
Diane Carroll. They had her. They cut her ass off. Like she was singing like 2 notes, and they just cut her off.
Diane Carroll, who's in the Star Wars holiday special.
Future exciting and new episode. But they need to do a better job of having their singer or their musician actors perform on the show. It should have been almost like a running gag where they got another musician and had them play and perform. And
it's also like we've had this a lot, the TV trope of a couple or ex-couple arguing and bickering a lot. This is another one.
At least the third one, right? At least the third. It's probably going to be.
It could be more than 3, but yeah, that's one I think we're going to see.
We definitely had Sherman Hemsley and Ann Esther. We had Bill Bixby and his ex-girlfriend, and then they hooked up, and Loretta Swit and Mike Brady.
We had Milton Berle and
they were together, but.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We could have couples fighting.
But a lot of ex-couples that somehow come
Sherman
together.
Hemsley and Esther were still together.
Oh, they were married, but they were fighting the whole time.
They were fighting, and they wanted a divorce, and then So, but I think it's going to be some sort of
someone was asking for who was the couple that was asking for the divorce?
The voiceover one.
Yeah, but they were doing the thinking in their brain.
That was Shecky Green and
Shecky Green, right?
Shecky Green. Who was this? I can't remember who the lady was though.
So it is a common theme on the Love Boat to have a couple go on a cruise on a vacation.
Was it Florence Henderson?
It was Florence Henderson.
Yeah, Shecky and Florence.
So you go on a cruise, you go on a love boat with someone you hate so much, or.
Also, what was we had the one with was it Steve Allen and his wife? Remember where Steve Allen was with Lonnie Anderson?
They were in different rooms, right?
They were next to each other, right? So I think we have more than 3. We have more than 3.
I think it's every episode now that we've talked about it. We've talked it through, and it's every episode. Every episode now we have to point out here's the couple that's not together.
Here's
that'll
the couple
be together
that's
by the end.
That's going to bicker throughout this son. Yeah,
the Bickersons, as my mom would have said. She probably still would say.
That's pretty funny. I like that. We might.
My mom would point that out to me. She's like, we're going to the Bickersons. And I'm like, who? And it would be whatever couple.
We're taking it. Tell your mom we're taking it now.
I'll give her credit.
We'll give her credit.
Ma, if you're listening, give me a thumbs up tomorrow.
Subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll have to show my mom how to do that first.
Set up your mom's YouTube account. Yeah,
I sent her the one clip on the.
I remember you said that first episode with like a bunch of people.
All she said was like, "Oh my god, I love the picture of your guys with the Love Boat crew." I was like, "Thanks."
I have to say,
can you listen?
Have you wore it anywhere yet?
The shirt?
Nobody said anything?
Oh, no. This is I save it for tonight.
Okay. I didn't know if you wore it out, like maybe.
Which makes no sense. I'm saving it for the basement that no one else can see it, but the 3 people that actually are wearing it.
And then your wife sees this, is like, what a bunch of losers going downstairs wearing sailor hats.
Like a half hour before you guys came over, I was like, oh, I got to change. And they were Michelle and Logan were both like, look at me, like, he's got to change. And I put on my exciting new shirt, my sailor's cap. You want your son to look up to you and respect you, and it's really hard for your son to look up to you and respect you when you're wearing a sailor's cap and
talking about the
exciting new podcast T-shirt.
Listen, I've gotten like some rave reviews from these people. Like, hey, that's a cool shirt. And I was like, yeah, it's my podcast. I tell them, and even
Michelle and I are going to the Columbus Flea Market tomorrow. Maybe I'll wear it around there, and I'll have a bunch of people looking at me like, what the hell is that? But
that's why we need to. I'm going to see if my sister can make stickers so we can start slapping stickers. But I'll have it where it says exciting and new, but we'll throw podcast on there and say subscribe
or the URL or something like that. Have something
and all that, like I'll have like subscribe, like, and then the YouTube logo and then all that kind of stuff, like where we could Twitter, all that stuff,
or the QR code so they can just scan it right there. Is that still a thing? Do people still do that?
I see that on TV. Like if you're
used to
doing
an
app with the TVs, you get that a lot. But yeah, I mean,
people used to want that, but now they just know people will go Google it.
And now you don't even
Google me.
Hey, can you look up the exciting and new podcast over there?
Brian even put it in the notes of our podcast. If you're using Alexa, say, hey, Alexa, play exciting new podcast, and she will.
Oh, so we'll play. I'll try that on my sister's Alexa. Just like
I only fight with
it'll play the latest episode.
That's pretty cool.
Alexa and I just fight with each other.
I mean, how cool is it when you look at your podcast app that you use and you see your podcast next to like celebrity ones that you listen to? You're like, oh, cool. Is that Joey Diaz right next to the
dumb ones I listen to? I was like, my podcast really deserves to be against all the other dumb ones that I listen to.
Speaking of Joey Diaz, have us on your podcast. We'd love to come on.
Pussy Bompancero's dad.
Buddha.
That was good. I liked him in that.
Oh, man. No spoilers, but man, there was a fun scene, him coming out of that club, and he was talking about Dickie's Gumar.
It's funny because I just watched the episode tonight of The Sopranos where Christopher kills the cop.
Excuse me, who?
Christopher kills the cop that Tony tells him was the one that killed Dickie. And I'm watching him just like, this should have tied together better with the movie because it's obviously not that guy, and we know who it was that set up the killing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I felt that was one of the things that the movie was lacking. Even though I liked the movie a lot.
I liked the movie a lot, but I feel like the movie was missing a lot. It felt more like the ending. I felt like that's it. We're stopping here.
I mean, it was it made more sense if this was a
series.
It was a opening episode series, to
if that was an opening 2-hour series to like another 7 episodes after that,
or just like maybe like 2 or 3 of like movie length kind of 2 or 3 2-hour episodes. I think it would have worked.
I could see why a lot of people hate it.
Yeah, I can see why people are.
I also read where they said, "Oh, this is a standalone movie." It is not a standalone movie. If you watch this as a standalone movie, it sucks. Even
if you don't know all the references, you're going to be lost. And there's not much of a plot. There is not much of a plot. But I didn't care because I knew all the references.
You're catching Easter eggs. You're like, oh, Junior said that.
Yeah,
because
Junior said like he's not varsity material. As soon as he said that, I'm like, oh my God, they just kind of like, that was a throwaway line. That was such a big part of The Sopranos. My uncle, said I wasn't varsity material, and he was crying to Melfi about it.
But Melfi was like, oh man, yeah.
And like some of the things were forced. Like the Silvio guy.
The guy who played Paulie, absolutely perfect. And Janice?
Yeah, Janice was. And the mom.
Livy, yeah. Vera Farmiga.
Oh my God, she was awesome as Livia. But
she was great.
Silvio
was a little too cartoony.
Yeah.
I thought Pussy was great.
Yeah, no, I thought everybody else was cast. The Silvio one, I thought he looked like him. I thought it was a little too.
The Silvio one that was cartoonish, but there was one scene when they showed him walking from behind. I was like,
and he had the hand out and everything like that. Yeah. But just the way he was talking, I was
like, Paulie guy was great. Though.
Yeah, no, I thought all the casting.
The best of the casting was probably Janice. I think. Yeah, it really was.
And Michael Gandolfini playing
even younger Tony, I thought was good. That I guess he was like 10 or 11.
Yeah, Tony, but Michael Gandolfini playing, obviously he's playing his father, so it's a little easier. But man, he had the tendencies down and everything.
I heard there was some scenes that they took it and they said no, that they had to reshoot it because it was too much like Tony. as already full gangster. Okay. He wouldn't have been like they were like, he can't look like that. It was too close on to like showing it, and that's the problem.
You can cut this all out of the podcast when we air this, because I was listening to the Michael Imperioli and Steve Sharippa podcast, and they were talking to Michael Gandolfini. They interviewed Michael Gandolfini. David Chase.
Michael Gandolfini and David Chase on Joey Diaz, if you get a chance.
Okay, I'll listen to that too. And then the guy that played Dickie and
it was Alessandro Nivola.
Yeah, and then someone else they interviewed too. I forget now. But anyway, Michael Gandolfini, they were talking about how later in Jim Gandolfini, while he was playing Tony, like he got to the point where he was talking in so much like with the accent they couldn't even understand what he was saying, and like the director would say cut and be like, what did you just say? And then Jim Gandolfini and Michael Imperioli would like watch the clip back and they're like, what did you say? And he's like, I have no idea what he just said here. So that might be what Michael Gandolfini was doing. He was playing the
breathing too. Remember the later seasons of the breathing? Like, sometimes that was like.
Yeah. It's a wonder he made it to 51.
That's just that was
how old he was when he died.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I don't that's like messed that. Up. And he just.
You only have a couple of months to make it to 52. You'll be fine.
You're going to be fine.
Unless your kidneys rock out again on you.
Yeah, something's wrong with me.
Yeah, something's wrong with you. I didn't want to bring it up, man.
We've already brought it up on the podcast.
I don't want to bring it up every episode, though.
You brought it. That was the first time I brought it up. I'm allowed to bring it up once.
Listen,
I even hesitated. I was like, he has cancer, right? In my head, I'm like,
isn't it fun that we can laugh about cancer?
But aren't we cutting this part out? Cut it out.
At this point, I think we are.
I wanted
Brian's
to say,
Brian's gonna have the bloopers at the end. It's gonna be another hour and a half of bloopers.
Mark this point down because I'm going to come up with something with that we just missed on here. So if you want to make that note for yourself, I don't know. Isaac called his mom. She said that she wasn't ready to get married yet, but she was enjoying being with this guy. And Isaac called her a swinger, and she slapped him.
Oh, swinger!
I thought it was a stretch for him to call her a swinger, right?
Because she said that Isaac's dad's dead, right? It's not like they're divorced or married and she's like cheating on him. He's dead.
Passed,
she can be doing whatever she wants.
And after that, Isaac leaves after she slaps him.
It's kind of
and then it was
overreaction.
Yeah,
but he shouldn't have said that.
He should not have called her. I thought that was it's your mom too. I mean, what are you doing, dude?
Well, he's mad that she's dating somebody else.
Still, Roy looks like a nice guy. Dentist.
He's a dentist.
Commented his teeth.
He said he had nice choppers. Choppers or chompers?
Chompers. I think with a MP.
Chompers.
Yeah, chompers. Okay, so
Romancing the Stone, was it choppers or chompers? Look at those choppers.
Choppers, right?
Yeah.
And then in Stand By Me was Chopper, Sick Balls Chopper. Remember that?
I do. I just watched Stand By Me recently.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Here we get the nose job mom. Her cabin is ransacked. Captain calls Gopher down there and wants him to find who did this, and he says, we will find him. And then Gopher says it's a little male chauvinistic because it could be a woman.
Yes, and it is a woman.
Yep. And he wants Gopher to find the thief because her brooch has been stolen, and it has 38 diamonds and a 2-pronged pin on the back.
I think that's a Judas Priest song.
Yeah, the
Green Manalishi with the 3-pronged crown. But whatever.
Which, by the way, great song.
Great song.
I love that.
I think it's a Fleetwood Mac
cover song. Yeah, Peter Green.
Lake Peter Green.
We know our music, Brian. What are we going to do? Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I celebrate the catalog of Fleetwood Mac.
Speaking of Judas Priest, did you see their new guitar player, the guy that took KK down?
Richie Faulkner?
He had a heart attack on stage, continued with his guitar solo, finished, and then walked off stage. It was like, I think I'm having a heart attack. And he had 10 hours of open heart surgery like that night.
And then he's fine.
And he's
doing good.
He's recovering.
Yeah, he's doing really good. So that was.
Hey, Richie, if you want to call in, man. Love Priest.
KK, you too.
Yeah, KK, man. Just shut up, man. Just shut up.
I guess we're not going to have KK on the podcast. Why not?
Because he's being a jerk off, man.
I know, but we could have had him on. He's not doing anything. He's not doing our podcast now either. Wouldn't that be weird? KK Downing from Judas Priest on our...
From KK's Priest. That's what he's the band now. KK's Priest.
Or how about we say Rob Halford, the metal god, is here. Speaking, and we're on episode 22, season 1.
Things I would do for Rob Halford to be on this show. The things I would do for Rob Halford to be on this show.
Can I quote you on that?
Yes, you can.
Cut that. That's going to be in the 30-second blurb.
I'll say it loud and proud all the time.
Where are this is the cabin was the cabin was just ransacked. That is a good
question.
So
then he met Nose Job Girl.
He talks to her there, and then he has to run away because the captain basically was like, "Yo, get the hell out of here and go find this brooch."
And as the girl's not wearing the bandage on her nose, she is looking really good.
Oh, she's looking amazing. And here's where I was talking about the sign where you're going to see Lenny and Mitsy are appearing in the Acapulco Lounge.
Mitsy.
And she decides to rip up his picture, and then she wipes her nose, showing that she's still a little sick. And then we see...
from the air conditioner, right? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we see Don Adams comes by again because everybody always seems to just miss each other on the Love Boat. And he sees the sign. He sees her picture's missing, and he sees... his picture's missing, but her picture's still there. So he decides to give her a nice mustache and black out one of her teeth. So this is a very heavy tooth-centric episode.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Maybe we call it tooth-centric. I don't know. Choppers. We call it chompers or something. But yeah, so that is just to show that they don't have a good relationship yet.
Which we knew already.
Yep. And then we see Gopher back at his cabin looking for Louise.
She comes out of the bathroom. Maybe that's why she doesn't have a wear diaper. She
might go, but she has the brooch, the 32 diamond.
They really zoom in on that.
And did you see that 2-pronged back?
The 3-pronged crown, yes. Do.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's like he talks to the chimpanzee again.
Is that weird? I don't get why you think that's weird.
Because he's talking to it like it's going to answer.
Well, I asked my dog the same thing.
I know,
Chucky,
but do I need to see that scene?
Why did you shit on my floor, Chucky?
Exactly.
What'd you do that for? Why, Chucky? And he looks at me going like,
isn't Chucky down here? I thought he was.
He might be dead. I don't think there's anybody else in this house. I think everybody else is on a date. Our kid's on a date, and our wives are on a date separately.
And we're recording a podcast about a chimpanzee.
Sounds like a typical Saturday night in this house.
And we have the captain.
So the captain's having dinner or tea or something like that with Isaac's
Mama
mom.
Washington and Roy Harwood, because she says they want to leave.
They want to get off in Empanada and just fly home.
And fly home, and she's asking for help with the plane tickets, asking if the captain can help. And then this is where the captain realizes that Isaac has two set of rules, like one set of ruls for himself. He can hook up.
Young.
He can young.
The
and
young
hook
people
up
can hook up. The old people like them. These three here.
And that's what the
captain's putting himself in the category of the same age as Isaac's mom.
Correct.
Like these young people, they can do whatever they want. They play by their own rules. So I guess they're deciding they're going to stay now, right?
Well, it's just like they kind of have a plan to like maybe show them, hey, you can do it, but we can't. Kind of like, let's get him.
Does he propose to her here?
No, but he tells how he wants to be with her, but she's the one that says she's not ready for marriage yet.
Okay, right.
They don't really touch on that much after that first time, but he talks about how much he loves her. And Captain's like, oh, that's so sweet. Yeah. Do your captain impersonation again.
Oh, that's so sweet. Is that good? I don't even know. I can't do it like cold like that. I have to think about it.
Wait, let's see what you get here. Oh, look. Podcast just popped up on my phone here. I wonder which one's available. Look which one's available.
Episode 6. Let me read it. Episode 6, Laverne's dad sucks. Doc is a super creep. And what's wrong with Marsha Brady? Covering Love Boat episode. Oh,
that's a good episode with Marsha. Remember? She kept wanting that dude that was trying to get laid.
Epstein, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jason and Andy try to discuss the 6th episode of Love Boat. The Joker is mild. Take my granddaughter, please. First time out, Mr. DeFazio. Wait, what?
Mr. DeFazio is in this episode. Nice.
Yeah, Laverne's dad.
Where's it at? Jason and Andy tried discussing the 6th episode. Joker is mild. Take my granddaughter, Mr. DeFazio butters his hand. Doc tries hard to get little Doc wet, courtesy of Patty Duke and Marsha Brady is inexplicable attracted to Juan Epstein. Meanwhile, Andy drops some hard F-bombs. Jason drops a great one-liner, and Brian just exists.
Hard F-bombs.
Oh,
I don't have soft ones.
I cannot wait to listen to that episode. That's going to be classic. I mean, and that one is exactly 1 hour.
As all of our podcasts should be. And
what are we at now? 6 hours, I believe we're at.
We're at 1 hour and 52 minutes.
Well, at least we're halfway through the actual.
We're cutting out at least 15 minutes. We're more than halfway through.
Well, now the episode's been running for at least 2 minutes as we were talking about the previous podcast.
Well, this is where Gopher sits down with Nose Job Girl, and he has the brooch. He wants to slip it back into her mom's purse, but her mom ends up getting up and dancing with Doc. And then Gopher, sitting in front of the hottest girl that he's ever probably seen, and she's into him, walks away.
We've seen other Gopher girls in the past. This girl is far superior to any of those.
And he cuts in on Doc to dance with her mom, and he opens her purse and puts this brooch in here. So sloppy.
Yeah,
it's so sloppy.
And it is also funny how he dances with her just long enough to put the brooch in the purse, and then Doc comes back and he's like, "Hey,
Doc's like, you got
what
your
are you
own
doing?"
girl.
He's like, "I'm cutting back in here," but
I imagine that's how many cruises are. It's like, yo, you got your girl over there. I'm going to take that girl over here.
If Doc's dancing with this girl and he's into her, and Gopher comes up and he's like, Can I cut in and be like, buzz off, dude? No.
Why would he let him cut him for even those 10 seconds or whatever it was?
And really, we know that the security on these ships are terrible. Just go back to the room, throw the brooch in the room.
And he comes back to talk to the girls. I just wanted to make it good with your mom. Like, I just wanted to impress your mom.
I don't even know your name, but I'm so committed to this relationship. Let me make an impression on your mom.
And she's like,
this girl never became anything, huh?
And look who just happened to be sitting
and look how she's sitting in that chair. Look at the way she was sitting in that chair, just kicked back.
Like, it's this is mad. But nobody again, sees her.
Again,
nobody sees her.
Gopher didn't lock his door when he left. He just left that chimp in there. He knows she can turn handles. She's like the raptors in Jurassic Park. Doors will not keep her out.
It just makes no sense that Louise just keeps escaping. There's no other...
And always running into people that we know on the boat. You don't hear of other acts of vandalism of rooms or other sightings of the chimp. The great ape. So we get Doc and Nose Job Girl's mom out on the deck. They're... talking, a little flirting going on here, and Doc swoons. He says,
Doc reaches in. He goes in for the kiss, and as he goes in for the kiss, Louise just happens to be climbing the steps outside the deck there, and she comes right up and steals the purse.
The whole purse.
The whole purse. And
she should have felt that.
This is when she looks over Doc's shoulders and sees a hairy little man walking down the steps, and she faints. I say hairy little man because that's what she says.
And Doc says something. What does he say there? Snarky.
Like I still got it or something like that. I don't have anything.
He said something snarky.
He did have something smart ass or something cutie. He was being cutesy. Julie, Gopher, and Isaac are again talking here about now Isaac is missing a case of swizzle sticks and a blender. Julie's missing a pair of shoes, some pantyhose, and a brand new bikini. Gopher then says, it's Louise that's doing all this. At this time, Anne is the nose job girl. She arrives, knocks on the door, and sees Julie thinking, you have another girl.
Even though Isaac's standing right next to her. She said, you got another girl and another guy?
Like, I don't know what you're into, but this could be fun. If it's the four of us, she starts thinking.
But she automatically assumes he's with Julie, even though Isaac's standing right next to Julie.
Yeah, like right next to her, like you said. It's just...
and now here we got Doc escorting her mom around.
Yes.
Because she's saying, like, where's that little monkey? Even though it's an ape. And Captain says,
overhears, and this is where
showing the passengers the guest or the crew quarters.
And all of a sudden, we get Louise just walks by and goes right into Gopher. She knows where Gopher's room is too.
This is the part I laughed at the most because the captain says something. I don't remember what he says here, but I mean it was so stupid. But he said, "Was that just a monkey that walked by, Doc?"
Let's see. Walks by in the Gopher's room. Doc by. Gopher no, I don't have anything with the Doc said. I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's whatever the captain says, but it was hilariously stupid.
So then they come in, she sees her purse and brooch, and then Doc's like, "You got your purse and your brooch. Let's go have sex."
Is your diaphragm in there? As long as your diaphragm's in there, we can leave.
And Gopher confesses, and Captain says his cabin tomorrow and be packed.
Yeah,
because
he's firing.
We're going to Ensenada.
You're getting off in Ensenada.
Yep, and
Empanada.
And then we get he's going to start packing, and he goes to the closet. And
now, does he take his posters down?
All the stuff that Louise.
Oh, you're right. He opens all the contraband.
Louise stole, and then how did she get it up on that top shelf? I was curious.
She neatly stacked it in the closet too. How'd you do that?
And then close the door.
If I had a chimpanzee walking around here that could stack my stuff in the closet.
Easy what you say here. I know you've had a couple. What you're going to have your chimpanzee do to you? I don't know.
Oh, I was going to have her stack all the stuff in my closet.
What Brian was talking about.
Yeah, I'd like to hear the rest of that.
I was just saying she keeps her room clean. I have a lot of problems keeping my closet straightened out.
I wanted to make sure you didn't get crazy.
As long as she keeps her back door.
He knew it was going to Did you see that? We were like, what's he going to say?
I'm not having sex with an ape.
Nose job girl here. She interferes and tells the captain that it's her chimpanzee. And that
her eyes, Gopher, she has the crazy eyes. They're beautiful eyes, but they're the crazy eyes where the white is all the way around. You can see the white all the way around. Whenever you see that, watch out.
Also,
watch out.
She says it's her fault, and she says she should be punished. And right then and there, I was like, Gopher is going to have a good time.
I'm surprised Captain didn't say, I will see you in my room now.
Tell Gopher I don't need to see him anymore.
I'd like to point, I guess we can get to it, but there's no repercussions to that. At no point does the truth ever come out.
No. Now, Captain goes like this to Isaac when Isaac shows up in his...
Gopher.
Or when Gopher shows up and he says... he's never seen chivalry's not dead. So he was like excited that he did that, and there's no, like you said,
but Gopher's packed and ready to go. He's going to turn in his badge and his hat. I'll take his hat. Wouldn't that be cool? A Gopher signed hat. I mean, I'm going to get this hat signed by Gopher.
That would be fun. None of them are going to be a chiller, and I missed out on Gavin McLeod a couple years ago when I was there because he was there, and I should have, but that's all me.
So no repercussions for Gopher, but no. I'm surprised the captain didn't say something about nose job girl having to pay for the monkey's room or something like that. Sorry, ape. I just said the thing I hate hearing.
So Captain here is telling him how he's proud of him for the chivalry and wants him to get back to work. Doesn't even mention how he had him packed and ready to.
He's like, you
get off here in Ensenada. And then the captain's like, where did my cap go? And
then we see Louise walking around.
Louise walks by with it, and then Doc says, good morning, Captain.
Yes. Great. She's 3 feet shorter, but he just noticed the hat. That's all that he noticed.
You know what it was? Because she had shorts on.
And I'd like to point out, Isaac, I thought...
Charlene looks so good here, doesn't she?
She does. When Isaac hooked up with Diane Carroll, I thought he was in his room. But this is not the room that Isaac was in. There's a poster of...
he was in her room sometimes in that one, too.
But I thought at one point we determined that it had to have been his room. But he's got a poster of Deacon Jones right over his bed there. There's other sports memorabilia in there.
Deacon Jones.
You know who Deacon Jones is, Brian?
No. I never even heard of him.
No, he was a
reverend.
Well, he was actually, I think he was Daniel Jones. Or Davy Jones. I think he was David Jones. He said there's too many David Joneses, so I'm just going to change my name to Deacon. But he was called the Minister of Defense, I believe.
Yes.
And he was the inventor of the term sack for sacking the quarterback. And he was on the Rams' vaunted defense, the fearsome foursome, with Alex Karras. Was Alex Karras on that as well? He was a bear? Okay. Yeah. There was someone else famous on that fearsome foursome. Rams.
I want to also mention that Deacon Jones was in an episode of the Brady Bunch
as Deacon Jones.
Jones, and he talked about how he took ballet and he was in helped Peter stick along and stay with the Glee Club.
Was that
Peter was playing football and the Glee Club, and he was getting made fun of by some of the other football players until Deacon Jones came there and straighten them out. I think those kids are really scared by Deacon Jones being.
I mean, Deacon Jones is all-world defense.
That's like
in
Jack
the NFL.
Lambert kind of
or
guy, like
Lawrence Taylor. Like they're in that same.
That's actually one of the rare things I like about football is that you can say, "Nice sack."
Yeah, he likes the sack.
I hit the first button I could grab.
That won't work though. A single clap. I liked it. We get Charlene looking smoking in her bikini here. We don't get to see Julie's bikini that's missing. I guess it was in that closet.
Wouldn't it have been funny if Louise was wearing the bikini while wearing the captain's hat?
And the pantyhose?
And you'd have to ask the question, how did she change into those things? But why would we ask those questions?
Do you realize all the keywords that could possibly fit into that 30-second clip that we've done on this one?
I'm sure I said things like, I am not having sex with an ape. That'll end up in there.
The things that you wanted to do with Rob Halford is going to get...
I would do anything for Rob Halford.
Isaac's talking about how he doesn't want to apologize here. And then she sits on his lap and just basically starts making out with him. And someone walks in with the jacket that she stitched and fixed for him. And as Mama walks in, Isaac drops Charlene.
Yes. It's funny how none of these cruise ships, as they are today, lock automatically when you close them, because they all do now. You'd have to knock to actually gain entry.
So I'm guessing it's key entry now, like with the card.
Yeah, but once it closes, if you're inside the room, you'd have to knock to get in. But not on the Love Boat. People are just walking in all the time. So yeah, he dropped Charlene, and both pick her up.
She came there to warn Charlene that men are only looking for one thing. She tells it, and that's when she says there's two sets of standards. Isaac is a damn fool, she says, and a son thinks only mom isn't good enough for. A son thinks any man isn't good enough for his mom. And then
no son of a mom that doesn't have the dad is going to say that.
Yeah, of course.
Does that make any sense? The son of the mom of the dad.
I know what you were saying, so I'm just agreeing with you. But
any single mom is never going to find a guy that the son's going to be okay.
They're going to be like, okay, I'll deal with him, or it's like,
really? You're playing my mom?
Pearl Bailey, won't you come home? Isn't that thing? Wasn't that a commercial? Pearl Bailey, come home. Is that something?
Is that something? If it was, I don't know.
It's a Bill Bailey.
Oh, Beetle Bailey? Maybe it's Beetle Bailey?
Won't you come home, Bill Bailey? Won't you come home?
I have no idea. I don't even get this reference. What is this?
It's a song. You never heard of
Bill
Bailey?
It's Bill Bailey. I didn't know the name of this song, but I knew it was something Bailey.
Come home, Bill Bailey. Won't you come home?
Who's that by?
Bill Bailey.
Oh, I have no idea who sang it.
I don't know.
Was it a female singer?
No, I think it was a guy. Oh, maybe it was a female.
He looked like a man.
About Bill Bailey.
You're looking like a man. I have no idea what that song is, and I don't think you guys do either. The way you're discussing it.
We'll play it after.
Oh, please do.
I'll sing the whole song for you.
Topless.
Always.
So they all kissed at the end there. So that story kind of like is wrapping up. Like, okay, the mom.
So she doesn't have to get off an empanada now and fly home, right?
Now,
or did they?
But now Isaac needs to really talk to Roy now, because he was just made up with his mom, and now he has to talk to Roy. Okay. But so then we get it looks like Julie's introducing Mitsy and Don,
cruise director / MC.
Mitsy and Lenny. I'm sorry, Mitsy and Lenny.
Mitsy
and we get. When she introduces Don Adams, he comes out with a bandage on his hand from when the piano.
You saw it before when he was signing the, or he was drawing the mustache. You saw his finger was all bandaged
and
up.
He's still bandaged up. And Isaac's really excited for them. Did you see how excited he was clapping there?
Clapping. He was very clapping.
So this is they make a couple of jokes here. They're like first time in a long time, and he talks about
all their banter
his bum hand,
the most hacky jokes, but the crowd loves it.
He goes bum hand. She goes, "It's a bum piano too," and then he says she's got laryngitis, and he says, "Oh, you shouldn't have said anything. Nobody would have noticed." And they're bickering back and forth.
I like how every joke sounds like Rodney's telling it. You tell it. You should grab your tie.
She asks for an arpeggio here. She's like, and then he takes his hand, the hand, and just rubs it across the thing, and then
she says that was his good hand or something like that, right?
Her mother wanted her to marry a doctor. She compromised and married a sickness.
That's a good one.
And then he said our marriage was like a game show, the Gong Show. And then she said, "Yeah, you can't have two movies called Rocky." And he said, "Yeah, that's why they made Jaws about her."
Oh, was it a Rocky marriage? Is that what they were talking about? Yeah. Okay.
So, and like you said, the audience
they eat it up.
They loved it, and it's like so they're basically changing their act. I guess not so much a song and dance routine, but more of a comedy routine, maybe with song and dance thrown in
between, right?
Yeah. So, and once his hand's better, he'll probably be able to play better arpeggios and stuff like that. More music talk to kids like that.
And finger her.
Finger bang, bang.
Do you think Don Adams is thinking about that with his wife of 10 years they were married, they said here, right? Yeah.
And remember, in real life, he's married to that really good-looking girl.
Oh, right. The one that was on a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember what her name is now.
Yeah, she only did the one thing.
Yes.
Because Don Adams locked that down, a la Kevin Kline and Phoebe Cates.
Ooh, Kevin Kline.
Locked it down. You'll never do anything. You'll never leave the house again.
He's like, they will forget your name. You'll be a big Google search.
No one's ever forgotten Phoebe Cates.
No. That's probably a very popular Google search to this day, I would think.
Well, the Fast Time scene is, I still think, like the most popular celebrity nudity scene in history.
Dun, 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 dun. Remember the music?
The car song. Yeah.
So good. I wish we had the cars on this boat. That would have been a lot of fun. Here we get.
We should go on the motorboat. Oh, that would have been so.
Don
good
shows up in Mitzi's cabin and
Motorhead. There was one.
Yeah,
it was like Motorhead, and Megadeth, and Anthrax or something like that.
It was ridiculous.
My God! I even asked Michelle, "Let's go on this." She's like, "That sounds stupid." God damn it! Why did I marry her? At one point, she would have done that, but. No, not now. Not old Michelle.
I remember on this cruise, I was like, I've never been on a cruise. I was like, Motorhead on a boat?
Dude, how cool would that have been if, like, all of a sudden you're just, like, in line to get food with Filthy Animal or something like that? You're just like.
Lemmy's like, you're sitting at the bar with Lemmy.
He's eating his eggs next to you, like.
He's playing shuffleboard with Scott.
Our friend Dan actually sat next to him on a plane.
Yeah, that's right. Shuffleboard with Scott Ian. I mean, that would have been fun, right?
Posting pictures with Dave Ellefson or something like that.
You filmed Dave Ellefson
jerking off to some underage girl. I mean,
as he's you're showing Dave Ellefson how to groom 17-year-old girls. That has to be cut out.
Apparently, what's the word? Allegedly. Thank you. Allegedly, even though it's not, he got fired from Megadeth.
But he's going to be a chiller.
I know. I'm going to buy his book and get him to sign it. My Life with Death.
That's cool.
Very excited about that.
I'm guessing he spelled it DETH.
He did. I'm not going to shake his hand, but I will get him to sign my book.
Picture with him?
Yeah.
What if you have to wear a mask, though?
Not during the picture. I'm not doing it. A picture with the mask on?
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely not.
I mean, if you had to wear the mask, but he didn't.
No.
I'm not.
I'll wear the mask in line.
I'm not saying that.
Wait in line with the mask. I will, but once I get up there, I'm not wearing the mask.
Yeah, I agree. I think for the picture,
I'm going to lick the side of his face and be like, picture, now you got whatever I got.
What's that? That's not going to do any good, especially if he has it on. That makes no sense. I was like, that looks like, whose eyes are
obviously,
they?
he's not going to be, I don't think they're going to do any of that, right? They're not going to take pictures where they're putting their arm around someone.
Honestly, I don't know how much it's going to work. Is it going to be? I saw the Kiss meet and greets that they're doing. They're standing behind plexiglass, and then people are coming and standing in front of the plexiglass, and that's the picture that's being taken. So they're standing there with Kiss behind plexiglass, but they're in front of the plexiglass.
I have a picture with me and Gene. I'm good with that.
You called you a tall drink of water.
He did. He's like, you're a tall drink of water. I was like, thanks, Gene.
How cool is that?
It was fun, man. I've met Gene and Peter, and then
I met Peter got Ace.
You got me Ace's autograph.
Ace was cool because he did this to me, gave me a thumbs up.
And none of us have met Paul. Got to get Paul. I remember there was a book that came out maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Paul's dad just turned like 100.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
But there was a book that I think Gene and Paul both wrote, and I was like, "Oh, we got to get that signed."
Oh, is that the Nothing to Lose book?
Oh, I don't even know. But it was like $500 to meet him and get the book signed. So, I remember at the time,
which makes no sense because remember, I couldn't make the Gene Simmons one.
Well, that was
you got
York,
me, and you got me the book, and I was like, I took my album to get Peter Criss to sign it, and he wouldn't sign it. He would only sign the book. So I didn't even bother to give Andy my Gene Simmons album to get signed because he was signing everything he said, no matter what anybody was throwing in front of him.
I had nothing. I went from work right to the Gene Simmons book signing, so I had nothing with me. If I had known he was signing stuff, I would have gone and bought a Kiss album.
Yeah, I mean,
somewhere. I was in New York City.
I have the Ace album with an Ace draws an Ace of Spades on there, and he says Jason.
Oh, you have the?
I have the
Ace album.
I have the Ace album signed.
Very cool.
And that's why I was going to get Peter to sign his, but he was being a dick and he wouldn't sign.
And wasn't he at something like right after that, like a Chiller or something like that?
I think so. And I didn't go to the Chiller, but we went to that book signing at that mall. I forget what mall
for the book.
it was.
Yeah. That was like Menlo or something.
That was a long line. I remember all through the mall. And I remember Michelle and the kids went up there and I was like took them to dinner and we're like waiting in line. I was like,
my kids are very proud of their father as he's waiting in line for a 70-year-old man to sign his book. And
I was like, I'll throw the album in front of him. He's going to sign it. He's not going to say no. He actually said no. Guys standing behind him said no, man.
We've been to some interesting book signings where, like, I remember Dave Mustaine would sign anything. D. Snyder, anything. He would have signed anything.
Artie was signing everything. Because I already signed my Beer League Blu-ray because I got Ralph Macchio and Artie to sign the cover of that.
But some people are like, not signing anything, but like Kirk Hammett only signing the book.
That book's pretty cool of his.
It's very cool. Yeah. And it was funny. The Kirk Hammett one was funny because there were however many people there, but there was a divide between like the first 10 rows and then the next 10 rows. Anybody in the next 10 rows got a pick. So he gave Kirk Hammett on one side and the other side says no more.
You got one?
No more hard business. Yeah, it's behind that green.
It's with the Millennium
Falcon. The Millennium Falcon. But as the next group of people, like all the people that got their book signed first got the book signed and left, the next group got the book signed in the pick. I was like, nice.
Next group got a guitar.
Oh.
If you're in the third group, you got a guitar.
I just thought it was cool they were handing out picks.
That's cool that you got a pick, especially since it has his logo on there or whatever.
It has whatever the emblem on the book was.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
The book is weird. It's like his toy collection of horror stuff. Yeah.
And he's got a really ridiculous collection. He's got like Lon Chaney's suit from the White Zombie.
White Zombie.
From White Zombie. Yeah.
He's got tons of stuff. And all his guitars now have like one's the Mummy guitar and one's the Dracula guitar. He's got all sorts of.
Which, by the way, this is going to be cut out. Right? On Monday's Gilbert podcast, Starburns. From Community.
I saw you text something about that the other day. Yeah,
Starburns.
I know who you're talking about. I saw Community. Yeah,
he was a writer on the Ben Stiller show, on the Dana Carvey show. He worked with like Louis C.K.
Was he a writer on Community? I assume
his name's writer, Dino, right?
Dino Stemopoulos or whatever his name is. This dude's got some stories, and let me tell you,
looking forward to it.
Dominatrix stories.
Didn't they kill him off on Community? Didn't he die?
Yeah, and he said he'll come back in the movie. They'll make a way for him to come back because he likes working with Dan Harmon. He said Dan Harmon's a great guy. But that's a really, I'm excited for you to listen to that.
I'm looking forward to it. I love the Gilbert. I mean, the one last week with
Rainn Wilson and that writer, Aaron Lee.
Aaron Lee. Oh, my God, because he was teeing Gilbert up the whole time. He's like, so if... Gilbert, if Groucho was going to be doing this, why would he do it? And
he had
Chico needed the money.
He was like, he knew the story. So they're like, tell us about Cesar Romero and the orange wedges, and he told us.
Danny Thomas and the table shitting stories.
Yeah, because Rainn didn't know that one. He had to tell him about that one, but I forget which episode it was, and when Gilbert said that somebody said that they knew about Danny Thomas doing this, like another big celebrity, and they were like, "Why didn't anybody ever like say anything or question anything?" He's like, "You see what he did for kids, St. Jude's? It's like the guy likes to have shit on."
It's funny because I saw the St. Jude's commercial today with Marlo. She does the commercials now, and every time I see it, I'm like, "Your dad had hooker shit on tables,"
and like. That would have been she probably would have been a good guest on the podcast, but there's no way
fetish.
Gilbert can have her on the podcast and not say something about it, right? I mean,
what kind of fetish is that? I'm not a fetish guy, I guess. I don't get
that was the chimpanzee leaking through.
We're in the home stretch, kids.
Yeah, we've wrapped up.
We are in the home stretch. Okay, so this was where Mitsy and Don Adams are realizing they need to work together, and they realize they need to stay together, and she says she wants them to stick around so they can kiss and make out, kind of like, so almost like we were talking about earlier, but I
really missed an opportunity in this episode.
They kiss here, and she asks him to stay, and he says, keep doing it until you get it right. And that's what they're getting right. So they finally figured out that it's a podcast where you, podcast. It's a stage show that they want to do together, but they're going to make some changes to it. So it's going to be the comedy.
And I know what's wrong with her.
What's wrong with her?
Her bangs. Those bangs are terrible.
Well, she's wearing a wig,
right? Yeah.
Very bad wig.
Yeah. That's one of those. Yeah,
her eyes are like something's wrong with her eyes. Either
she seems older than 50 here, too. Sometimes
I think she's had many facelifts. I think that's what's going on with her face. This is 1970s. I think I put my phone down. Or that. I was trying to find the South Park episode where they say Mimsy, because every time you say so Mimsy, I'm like Mimsy.
He's always wants to punch him. It's so good. I like that.
But every time
that's the episode where it was like the intervention.
Yes. But every time you said Mimsy this episode, in the background
I say
Mimsy,
but you can hear Mimsy. So, like I said, this is where Don and Mimsy kiss and realize they want to stay together.
And isn't that nice?
Again, another shot of the boat.
Works out.
We saw a lot of boat shots.
Is that a sailboat to the side of it right there? It's a little tugboat,
right? Yeah. Tugboat. That was probably like, are you sure you don't want to come with us, Mrs. Washington? Like, see, we're seeing a boat come in. Like,
there are a lot of boat setup shots. And
here you get Isaac giving Charlene a kiss, saying he's going to see her tomorrow night. And Mama says, do you need a ride home? So they're going to give Charlene a ride home.
Now, I wonder what Isaac has to do tonight. He says, I'll see you tomorrow night.
Maybe he's got to finish work. The
boat's in dock.
But everybody's bar, maybe he has to do some cleaning. Maybe he does inventory on the bar.
Hope the bartender doesn't have to actually.
But I'm thinking maybe he oversees like the inventory,
replenishment.
Like
maybe.
He's got to. He's not just serving drinks and
we know, and doing room service,
and doing
everything,
sleeping with Charlene.
So in this season 1, he has had Diane Carroll and Charlene.
Yeah.
So far, Isaac's winning.
Yeah. He said they were like lay low the first few episodes, and we got some nice guests.
We haven't seen Gopher with anybody, right? This episode,
Julie we've seen with some people.
Julie and Doc, Tramp.
Every time you look over at Doc, he's got a new one. It's like here. But
Isaac,
Mitzi's again in her yellow.
The quality is better.
She's wearing yellow again.
The quality on Isaac is better. His quality is high.
Yeah.
Everybody else is kind of like sleeping with whoever gets on the boat.
We get Mitzi and Don talking about getting married again, and they're going to leave the fighting on the stage this time, and that's going to be their act. The fighting is going to be left on the stage. It would
have been nice if he called her 99 at some point, just as a reference to his old show.
And I'm sure Barbara Feldon's going to be in an episode, at least one. We get Nose Job Girl coming out with Isaac or with Gopher here, and still playing the con that is her chimpanzee.
And that's why I was saying before, I was expecting at some point the captain to come out here and be like, Gopher, please tell me that this is actually your chimpanzee. And it never happened. It just never happened.
I really like your Gavin McLeod.
It's just my voice done an octave deeper. So, yeah, I was really expecting there to be some kind of resolution to that, but never was. Even the captain be saying something about like, she's got to pay for the room for the ape or something like that. But no.
Nose Job Girl says to Gopher, she's like, or Gopher says, "Hope we can have one-on-one," and she's like, "With you and the ape or with the chimpanzee," and he's like, "No, you and me." So
you and me.
Said that, and then we get Louise comes running back onto the boat because she stole someone's briefcase. Yeah, and you know what time it is now? That's the end of the episode. Andy's favorite part of the episode, right?
The part where we end and we can like start drinking and smoking,
where we talk about next week's episode.
We gotta do this again next week.
Yeah, this next week will be our 16th episode.
Wow, man. That's impressive. I would have thought the wheels would have fallen off this after 2 or 3. This is dedication.
We're in episode
every Saturday night we're dedicating our lives to this goddamn bullshit. That is amazing.
Make that a clip. I'll post that during the week, yeah. And this is a season 1 episode 15 because we had the pilot, you know.
Sure.
So first I'm going to let you know it's part 1. So it's our first 2-parter.
My heart actually just skipped a beat. I might be having a heart attack. I need to call 911, please.
Are we going to do where we just do the first hour, do that episode, and then the next Saturday we do the second part?
Well, if we don't do it that way, it's going to be a 15-hour podcast. Can we do that?
Yeah, so then we should separate it. That's good. All right, and then so we're going to have the same cast 2 weeks in a row, and let's see what we have here.
That is amazing. I am so excited. Okay. I can't tell you how excited am I. I really am just so excited for this.
It starts off pretty good. Desi Arnaz Jr.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know him other than the fact that I know his parents.
Adrienne Barbeau.
Nice.
Maud. Creep Show
for sure.
Smokey
and the Bandit? Or no,
Cannonball Run.
Swamp Thing.
Harold Gould. You know his face if you see it.
Oh, I don't remember now, but I'll remember by next week.
Harold Gould, real quick, I'll give his top 4. Let's see.
Oh, man.
Patch Adams, Freaky Friday, The Sting.
Oh, The Sting. He's the guy that, he's in The Sting,
Love
for sure.
Death.
He's the guy that's got he's the voice, the guy that does the ticker tape on The Sting.
Fernando Lamas. Michelle Lee. I think that's a repeat.
Yeah, right. I believe we've had her already.
Juliet Mills. Dan Rowan from Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In.
Oh, really? He's that low on the guest list?
John Shuck. You know John Shuck because he was just on Gilbert's podcast.
Oh, man. He is from the MASH movie.
He's also in the new Munsters.
But in the MASH
Speaking of shows that came back.
He's the dentist.
But he is in MASH, yes.
But he's the one that in the MASH movie, he's the one that wants to commit suicide, and
Star Trek 6.
They bury him. Star Trek 6. Oh yes, he's a
Star Trek 4.
He's a
he's Klingon.
I can picture him. Yeah, in the makeup, I was going to say he's either Klingon or
he's
Vulcan.
a reporter in Dick Tracy.
I never saw Dick Tracy, the Born Beta Dick
Tracy. But he was in the new Munsters as
Herman.
As Herman, yeah.
I remember he was on that Gilbert podcast talking about that.
Larry Storch.
Larry Storch. Yeah, I know the name.
F Troop. He's one of those old guys that's been in a little everything. Yeah. Andy Griffith, all those shit.
Definitely F Troop. Yeah.
He's probably like, what's his face that we had on a couple weeks ago? Phil Silvers.
Airport 75.
He looks like the guy from The Monkey.
He's also still alive, and he was born in 1923.
Wow. He's 98 years old. Yeah. Or he'll be 98 at some point this year.
He already is January 8th. He turned 98.
He'll be 99 in a couple months.
Yeah.
Let me see him. I mean, not now, please. I'll throw up.
He looks like Mickey Dolenz.
Yeah.
That's not a good picture of him. I know that name, Larry Storch. Maybe I don't.
You don't remember F Troop?
Never watched F Troop.
Yeah, Ken Berry was also on F Troop, but he's been on Gilbert's podcast a couple of times. He was at the live show, and they keep bringing up Karen Valentine.
This is, I guess it's a two-parter. That's why there's so many people in this cast.
And Stephanie Zimbalist.
Ooh. Do we know who she is? You're wooing her.
Yeah, she's cute.
You do know her?
Yeah.
Stephanie Zimbalist, Remington Steele.
Remington Steele, yeah.
Is she like James Bond's main girl in that?
Yeah. She was Remington Steele's main girl.
Well, he was James Bond, right?
Good in this episode.
Isn't that Pierce Brosnan?
She's only 22 in this episode because she was born in 56. This episode will be 78.
Wow. So
it'll be January 78, so she's only going to be 21 in the episode.
So she's in her 60s still now, right?
Yeah, she was born in 56.
Is that 60s now?
So she's 44, 65.
Oh, it's young.
Good to go.
It's weird to think that anybody that was on the Love Boat is still at an age that they could possibly still be working even. I mean, you just mentioned a character that's 99 goddamn years old.
I'm kind of excited for that two-parter. And this episode, I mean, this was our second animal, right? Because we had a dog.
Yeah, the dog with that bothered radar, and now we had the chimp, yep.
So I'm curious to see if we get any other types of animals. I mean, obviously, probably get another dog at some point, I'm expecting.
Didn't you give us a number on that one time?
I think there was
numbers.
Like 4. Actually.
You don't have to do it now. This episode's a million hours long.
Because I really do have it readily available. I know I have it readily available right about here. Is this it? Okay, yeah. Top 10. Let's see. We get number of times real families were cast as fictional families, 5. We get number of times love was literally blind, 5.
Wow. We have had none of those two plot points
ever since this update. My phone locks up all the time, man. I'm like, let's see. Number of times the crew ran into a friend from high school. What do you think?
It seems to happen to Julie like every other week.
80. I'd say 80 times.
I'm going to say at least 50. I'm going to say at least 50.
7. You guys.
But it's happened to Julie every episode so far. I mean, wait. Well, okay, the crew. Because I was going to say, didn't Patty Duke meet her boyfriend from high school? And that doesn't count. I guess she's not crew.
Make it. Number of times twins appeared.
5.
3.
Does that include when a person plays twins? Like that girl played the twins at one time?
Number of times dogs appeared. Which I guess, how many dogs do we have?
I want to bet. I want an over-under of some kind.
Over under 2.5.
I want to bet the over on that.
Brian?
I'm going to take the under.
The over comes in at 4.
Nice.
Oh.
Okay, now this last one. Number of times.
If you had set the over-under at 4.5, I might have gone over.
I was going to set it at 3. And I went, let me go I wanted to go 2.5. And then I went right in the middle. I shouldn't have done that because I kind of gave it away that I was probably 4 or roughly, higher. Number of times a ghost appears.
Oh, hold on.
Now I'm scared. I can't go on.
7.
3.
2. Yeah.
All right. I've had people.
I'm going to do, this is another part. I always don't know how to close it. I could be found at Jazoo74 on Twitter. Exciting and new on Twitter. Exciting and new podcast on Instagram, I believe. Exciting and new podcast on YouTube. And I don't know what the TikTok is.
Oh, yeah. Let's see what the TikTok is.
I think that's exciting and new podcast as well. Follow us and subscribe. Leave a review on all these if you can.
Exciting and new podcast for TikTok.
Exciting and new podcast for TikTok. Once again, this has been the Exciting and New Podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Brian.